Hello and a very good morning, good afternoon, welcome back to Crafters TV. My name is Ben Mosby. Thank you for joining us this Saturday. It's been a fun-packed Saturday already. I tell you what, been really busy as well. We've had play your cards right. Play your cards right. Ooh, my love. We've had play your crafts right. We've also had a little preview as to what is coming up today, and now here we are landed at the Craft Along, and this is the award-nominated Craft Along, where basically we give you the opportunity to get your crafty gear out and craft along with us. The difference being with this show is that everything is done in real time. So on normal shows, you might be seeing 4 or 5 demos in there where we're tied for time and we're having to bring in items that have been done previously. This is all done in real time for you. We craft along with you. So at any point over the course of the craft along that you get a little bit stuck or you need something repeated, or if you're not quite sure, you can get in touch with us on Facebook or on YouTube, and we will make sure that you can craft along with us. By the end of the craft along, hopefully you'll have a finished project and you'll be able to share it with us by sending it in to us at studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Also, just to mention before we get on with the craft along, don't forget that our Christmas shop is now open at our website, so do have a little peruse of that at some point over the course of the day today. And it's double points. So the great thing about this craft along with the Masquerade Ball Collection is if you've already got it, you're probably set and ready to go to do the craft along. If you haven't yet got it, you can pick up the collection today or elements of the collection. We'll send it out to you and you'll have this 2-hour craft along to come back to at a later date. But I hear you cry, what we're going to be making, what we're going to be doing, who's leading the craft along today? Well, it is the one and only, the craft along queen, the lovely Jan Brown. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, we're all fed and watered and raring to go. So, yeah, it's been an interesting morning. We've got lots done already. So, yeah, we're going to carry on this afternoon. And I thought, right, what can we do with this collection that's really going to show it at its sort of its maximum potential? Now, I actually did this design quite a few months ago now, and it had a lot of interest. And I published all the measurements on my social media. But I thought, why not let's do it together? There's nothing better. I know I find you when you're crafting along with someone, you get a feel for a project, and once you've made it, then you can then go on and repeat it and sort of tailor it to suit yourself. So, literally got our ribbon fastening on here today, and it's a 5 3/4 inch square project. So it's a card size. But then when you open it, I just wanted to showcase all those beautiful papers that are in this particular pad. So yeah, again, just adding some embellishments. I'm not going to concentrate too much on the embellishments today. I want to show you how to make the book, and we'll do the front cover it. But again, inside, I thought it would be nice to have some little pictures in there if you wanted to use it as a memory book. You might want to do some journaling. You might just want to leave it to enjoy the papers. So when I flick through here, you can see this is just an element of leftover paper from another project that I'd got there. The papers speak for themselves. This is all from the paper pad. I didn't put anything else on that page at all because I just loved all the detail and all that. You can just see that foiling catching the light there.
It's gorgeous.
And then this is a die cut from the collection, so I've just cut that out in some nice gold mirror card there to to sort of go with the foiling. And again, I didn't do anything else to this one. I just love the actual design on here, and then again that music's all foiled there.
Stunning.
So it's got 5 sections all together, front and back cover, but the beauty of it is that once it's open, you can actually show it and actually fasten it together, and it is what's known as a star book, and it gets its name from that shape at the top. Now I've just got 5 sections in it. You can do it with 6, but I like the 5 pointed star. I like the odd numbers. So yeah, it's really simple. It's a nice showstopper when you've got this, displayed like this, and people are like, oh my goodness, how have you done that? But it is so simple to do. It's literally a case of making one section, and then we're literally going to repeat it again and again and again and again, and just stick them all together. So there is not really a lot involved in it at all. And then I just chose some of the elements to make a nice design to go on the front of it, and again, you may want to add that on today. You may want to do your own design on the front of it. Absolutely fine. So we're going to go for that. We're going to have a go. Our Ben's going to join us as well. He's set up with all these bits and pieces over there.
Oh no! Do you know what? I love this place so much. For the fact that I am just giving things a go now and giving things a try. Like you saw me yesterday doing a bit of colouring. I've been over that side doing a few bits and pieces. And whenever Jan's in, we're like craft along buddies. So when Jan was like, "Come on, give this a go," I was like, "Oh really?" She's like, "No, you can do it. You can give it a go." So that is what I'm going to do today. I've got all my goodies ready. But Jan, for those people perhaps who are wanting to join in, what do we need?
Let's have a look then. We've got the list ready there. So we're going to need that Masquerade Ball Collection. I haven't used every element of it, but I thought if I put the collection on, at least you've got stuff to hand there for what you want. So in particular, you will need the 12 by 12 paper pad and the coordinating card pack that goes with it, okay? And then the elements that I used on the project were the chic chandelier die, which you saw inside the book. So again, that's optional. The elegant mask, we're going to do this one together that fits on the front of the book. Flamboyant feathers, they've sort of featured in it. And then the sentiment stamp, the Masquerade sentiments. So those are the pieces that I chose out of the collection, but as always, if you want to mix and match, that's entirely up to you. I don't know why it says red ribbon on there. I didn't put red ribbon on my list, but you could use red ribbon if you
Whatever
wish.
ribbon you want.
Coordinating ribbon, I've used purple on mine, and you'll need about 24 inches of it all together, a couple of stretches of 12 inches. A4 stamping card, you'll need 5 sheets of that one. Ivory or gold glitter card, just needs to be a scrap to do the back map for the mask. Nina card, again, just a scrap to stamp on to do some sentiments, and the matte black, enough to cut the mask out twice, so they don't need to be full sheets. Just if you've got any offcuts lying around, absolutely fine. The feather I put as optional because there is the dye in there to make the feathers, but I'd actually got some real feathers in my stash, so I've just pulled one of those. If you've got some hanging around, feel free to add that to your little collection of things. And then as far as tools are concerned, I tend to refer to this now as a basic toolkit because we nearly always put the same thing down.
Yeah.
You're going to need some means of cutting, so I've just put Gemini because a lot of the elements will fit from the mini upwards, so whatever you've got handy. You're going to need a guillotine, an A4 one because we're going to be cutting the A4 card and the 12 by 12 card. Scoreboard and scoring tool and bone folder, they all go hand in hand together for your scoring and your folding. Scissors and a pokey tool, pencil and a ruler, some means of stamping, whether it's the little 4 by 4 platform or whatever you're happy with, just to stamp some sentiments out, and an ink pad for that. I put the quick dry jet black. I think I've got an alcohol jet one today with me. Red line tape, I put all 3 sizes down because again you can flip between them if you've got them. And then of course your normal glues, your Collal, your all-purpose and your tacky glue. I've put both tape pens down because they both have a purpose. And then gilding wax in the Empire Gold, which we're going to use to decorate the mask with at the beginning, at the front of the book. Okay, so I think we'll give everybody a chance to get all that ready, Ben. Yeah?
Absolutely, yeah. Whilst you do that, let me read a few comments. I'll go through the I'll go through the deal, read a few comments, and then introduce you to another guest as well, because there's loads of us doing it today. But this is the full collection. I'll go through the boards for you in a little bit later on, but actually, if you watched our Play Your Crafts right earlier on, you'll have seen all of this, but you get beautiful stamps in here. You've got the beautiful chandelier in die form. You've also got that in an embossing folder. Take a look at that 3D embossing folder with the beautiful mask and feathers. There's the chandelier I was talking about. Cardstock, you've got your beautiful pattern paper in the 12 by 12, 24 sheets. You've got your 25 sheets of your A4 luxury mixed cardstock. It is a beautiful collection, and actually, we've mirrored the deal on this that we did when we launched it on our Sweet 16th, because you're getting the same price and you're also getting double points. It's a double points weekend, so it's a brilliant time to pick this up. If you just want to pick up elements of the collection rather than going for the full set, you can do. If you spend £35 or $35, you will get an extra 10% off. So if you want to pick and mix, maybe you just want to top up your collection from what you bought originally, you can do. And just as a by the by, I know you probably know this already, but we've also got the card and paper available for you on another deal as well if you need to stock up there. Lots of comments already coming through. Linny Jones says, hi everyone from a very windy Edinburgh. Glad to be hiding away in my craft room this afternoon. Annalise in bed in Bristol. Lakieta says, hello everyone from Kentucky. Deborah's in saying, good afternoon Jan, Ben, Suit TV and everyone from a wet and windy Lancashire. Sarah's in from Australia. Hi Sarah. And Shadiah says, good morning Lord Ben and Nana Jan. I will just be watching. I may fall asleep because I'll be working 1 hour extra tonight because of the clocks going backwards. Yes, we'll chat more about that later on. Cheryl's excited for the craft along. Marion says, hello, Jan. Lovely to see you. Also you, Ben. You're my cup of tea. Or does that say my cup of tea? I don't know what that means, but thank you anyway. Hadassah says, good morning, excited for the craft along with Jan. Looking fantastic, says Gilmore. And Katie says, hello everyone from California. So excited to watch this show. Hadassah says, so glad Ben's going to give it a go. Joy says, hi Ben, hi fabulous Jan. And Gilmore says, I've saved and liked this show already. It's not just we two. And before we get started, I'm delighted to say that we've got a third person who's going to be crafting along with us all the way from the other side of the pond in New Orleans. The lovely Susie T joins us from her craft room. How are you doing, Susie T?
Hi Ben, I'm good. How are you?
I'm really great, thank you. And it's lovely to have you with us on this craft along. Nice that we're going to be all giving this a go. Is this something that you tried before? Have you ever made one of these sort of projects before?
I have not made one of these projects. I'm excited to give it a go.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. So that's two newbies together then. So we'll help each other out, Susie.
Sounds good.
Excellent stuff.
I love this collection. It's very New Orleans, Mardi Gras.
Absolutely right. Do you know what? That was one of the things that, well, one of the many things that people were chatting about when we launched this, saying all the colours, and Jan said it earlier, Mardi Gras, isn't it? Really is.
Very much.
Well, listen, have you got all your bits and pieces and ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right. Johnny's just said, are you ready to go, Ben, more than anything? Well, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Contestant, ready.
Thank goodness this isn't a competition, because I know who's going to be coming last in this one. I can tell you that much for nothing. Susie's ready. Jan, are you ready to tutor us all?
I'm all good. I'm ready when we are. As long as everybody's got all those bits together at home, we're all good to start whenever, yep.
All right, well, listen, as I say, as always, we've got Crystal with us on the socials. If at any point you need us to pause, if at any point you need something repeated, that'll be me. I'll be like, Jan, can you just... I've told you 10 times already. But the whole point is here, have fun with this. I'm covering my back here already. Have fun with this. However it looks at the end, you know, if it doesn't look great, you know, it doesn't matter. At least you've had a go. But if you're crafting along with us for the first time as well, please do let us know on Facebook and on YouTube. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to come out with something amazing at the end of this as well. And you can be like me and Susie T crafting this project for the first ever time. That's enough blabbing from me. So let's get going. It's 12 minutes past 3 here in the UK. Let's get going with our craft along.
Yep. Fantastic. So hopefully we've got all those bits and pieces ready. So it is quite straightforward, this, because it's like making a card, but we're going to make it 5 times and stick it together, and that is essentially all it is. So it's just about getting the measurements right. There is a little bit of cutting to do, some scoring to do, and then literally we're just going to stick it all together. So even though you've got that nice showpiece at the end of it, I like things that are relatively straightforward to put together. So it looks as if you've gone to a lot of trouble, but actually it was fairly simple when you break it down into steps. So I asked you to get yourself some white cardstock. Now I chose the stamping card because it is good construction weight. It's 300 GSM here in the UK, which I think is about 90, £100 over in the US. So it's a nice construction weight. So I asked you to get 5 sheets of that at the ready, and we're going to cut into that in a second. I also asked you to choose 5 pieces of paper from that beautiful card pad. Now I've actually got the other half of mine left from when I made the sample, but all I did was flick through and think, right, I'll take one of those, take one of those. I wanted to showcase these papers basically, because when I looked through the pad, it was like, how on earth can I just choose one? And then this popped into my mind and thought, yeah, what a perfect way to showcase those papers. So I've actually got the other half of the paper that I used for the sample. So I chose one of the orange ones there. I just love that combination of orange and purple together there. We're going to cut into these because what I've got left here is enough for what I need to do the project. So essentially you would get 2 out of a piece of the 12 by 12. And then I've got a piece of that that gorgeous purple with the harlequin in the background. I just wanted a range of colours. I love this one with the mask in here, the green with the foiling on, and then I've got one of the pink pieces left over, and then that lovely piece with the Harlequin coloured pattern in there again. So that was my 5 sheets. So I did say on the list 5 sheets of 12 by 12, but you're actually only going to need sort of half of one of those sheets, so you'll get some pieces left which you can either, as I say, recreate this project, or you can use in your card making and things like that. And then what I did was have a look at my chosen designs there and thought, right, I need some cardstock from the pack. This is from the mixed card pack that comes with the collection.
Yep.
That's going to match. And originally I started off thinking, right, well, I need a purple one for my purple one, and so on and so on. And then at the last minute decided, actually, I quite like the contrast of putting a different colour with the cardstock. So again, it doesn't matter what they are, but sort of, you know, a selection that will go. I like the purple against the orange, even though we've got the orange paper there. You know, however you want to match them together, just basically so that you've got a sheet of A4 cardstock that will match each of your design papers. So you can see there where I've just sort of matched mine up. I've got some purple colouring in the pink sheet to go with the purple. And whether you choose, I've got a selection of pearlised paper cardstock, I've got the satin cardstock, I've got some of the mirror, and I just wanted it to be a whole mixed match of everything that was in that collection, just to showcase it. So once we've got all those together, we're going to do some cutting. So the first thing we need then is our guillotine, and I asked you to pop the A4 guillotine at the ready, because we've got some larger pieces to cut. Now, there is a fair bit of cutting, but there are only 3 different measurements to work with, because all the white stamping card is the same size. Then we're going to do a range of all the cardstock the same size, and then a range of the paper all the same measurement. So starting with that white stamping card then, we've got, it's a weird measurement here in the UK. It's just over 11 3/4 inches, but I actually want to chop it down to 11 1/2. So I'm just going to take a little sliver off the edge of mine, and it is just, you know, I'm talking a little sliver.
Okay.
Yeah, so that they're all 11 1/2 inches in length. Okay, and then as far as the width is concerned, I'm just going to take that down to 5 3/4. All right, so I'll write that on there for you so that you can see that we've got 11 1/2 inches by 5 3/4 inches. So that's my measurement. Can you see that okay there? Yep.
Uh-huh.
If you want to screenshot that, you've got that as a record. Okay, so 11 1/2 inches by 5 3/4 inches.
Great.
Okay. And I'm going to do that to all 5 of my pieces of white cardstock. So again, just take each one in turn and just take that sliver off one end to bring it down to 11 1/2, and then the width at 5 3/4. So by the time you've done all 5 of these, you'll have got that measurement off to a fine art. So I'm just taking one at a time. I take the little bit off the end of it then, and then take that width down to 5 3/4. These are essentially going to be our card blanks.
Okay.
All right, that we sort of put everything else inside, and then we will stick them all together when we've got them ready. So again, each one 11 1/2 in length by 5 3/4. And if you've got our guillotine, it's really easy to get things lined up. I love all the score lines on here because it means I can get everything really sort of nice and straight. Okay, so again, 11 1/2 there by 5 3/4. So you should end up with 5 pieces of your white card, all with that same measurement. So again, if I bring you that one to the front there, you've got that measurement on there, and then we'll pop those to one side.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the rest of the cutting, and then we'll give you a break to catch up.
Yes, okay.
All right, so I'm going to keep all these long pieces just for my own benefit. We don't need them for the project, but I'll keep these for stamping sentiments and things like that on. And then all those little scraps, we'll get rid of those out of the way. So then next I'm going to take the coloured cardstock. So the 5 sheets of coloured cardstock that you decided on, we're going to cut those down to size as well. So again, starting with the length on here, this time we're going to cut down to 10 1/2 inches. All right, so we're going to come down 1 inch and do the length at 10.5. So obviously you've got a wee bit more to cut off the end of this one. Again, I wouldn't be throwing it away. I keep all the scraps just in case.
Gubbins box.
Yep. And then we're going to cut this one down to 5.5. All right, so again, I'm going to cut that down, and then if I write on here, let me just use a pen.
Oh yeah, a lot of people have said they like that screenshot that you did. So yeah, if you can write it and then give people a chance to.
Because obviously we're going to cover this up anyway.
Yeah.
So this one is 10.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So again, if I hold you that one up there, do your screenshot, and then you've got that as a reference point then. And we're going to do exactly the same to all the pieces of coloured cardstock. So again, I'm going to create a pile of those at the ready. So again, 10.5. They've been silly in my ear already, honestly. To 5.5. So it is very repetitive, this one. As I say, it's one of those things that once you've had a go at it and realised that it's not anything to be afraid of, it's a nice project to do.
You were describing to me earlier on, just as we're watching you cut this, that it's a real wow thing to do, and maybe people don't attempt it because they think it's going to be terribly difficult to do, but actually it's a wow project, but it's repeating the same steps over and over, isn't it?
It is, and as I say, it's like making one card 5 times.
Yeah.
That is essentially all we're going to do. Make the one card 5 times and stick them together, and that is literally all it boils down to. But being able to come and do this with you, you know, once you've got that one under your belt there and you've had a go and you've got a successful sort of outcome, it then becomes easy to replicate it, and you again do it, use a different collection, you know, use a different colour scheme. It would be nice as a little mini book, you know, to sort of pop photos and things like that in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, I'm going to keep all those scraps, and I'm going to leave those, I don't need the little skinny bits there, we'll put those to one side. So again, I've done all my pieces down to that same 10.5 inches long, okay, by 5.5 inches in depth. All right, so that's our set of coloured card, and then the last one is to do our paper.
Yes.
All right, so you might have your 12 by 12 sheet. Remember, as I say, this is the other half of what I was using here. So for example, this is the other bit off this sheet. So I just thought I may as well keep these together. It saves me cutting into another 12 by 12. So if you've got your 12 by 12 papers, the first thing that I want you to do is actually cut along, and now again, just be aware of your orientation of your paper. So obviously I want to have in my book this section with the flower and the vertical diamonds on it. So the height of this one, we're going to come down 1/4 inch again, and we want 5.25 inches this time. All right, so each time we've come down just enough so that we're creating that matting and layering border, just like we would do if we were making a card. And then we want to come down to 9.5 in length. And again, this is where I want you to think about your papers. I want this gorgeous arrangement here. So rather than chopping this end off, I'm going to flick it around, and I'm going to do my 9.5 inches this way, so that I've got that nice arrangement there, and I've got a side here that I could easily put an embellishment on, and I've got a side here where the paper can just speak for itself. So we're going to do the same again. So let me just write on the back of here for you.
Perfect.
So again, we've got 9.5. I'll fit it between the diamonds there, by 5.25 inches. So again, I'll hold you that one up. Can you see that okay in the middle of all those diamonds
9.5 by 5.25.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, if you want to do your screenshot, you've got that reference point there. And again, we're going to do exactly the same to all 5 pieces. So again, just be aware of the orientation of your paper and which bits you want to keep. So again, I'm not going to cut the bottom off here because I'd lose that lovely design. So I'm going to turn it round, and I'm going to take my 5.25 inches so that it keeps that nice floral spray as part of my design. And then I want this to be included in it. So I'm going to do my 9.5 inches so that I've got, again, that lovely piece for one side and a plainer piece where I can put some embellishments on. So just be aware of that when you're cutting into your papers, and just sort of take them, make the most of them basically. So again, 5.25, and I've got those masks on there. So again, if I do the 9.5 there, I'm going to get that lovely mask piece in one there. Again, the purple one, I want to keep that lovely spray of flowers across the bottom. So my 5 1/4, and obviously it doesn't really matter. I'm going to keep the music score on this one, so I'm going to take the piece off that end, just so that you've got the element of the paper that you want to keep for your little book. And then again, this last one, I want to keep that lovely element here. So I'm going to do the 5 1/4 that way. And then I'm going to take it off this end because I want to keep that nice design. And I've still got some of the music score as well. So I've now actually got 5 pieces again that are 9 1/2 inches in length by 5 1/4 inches in height. And that's that measurement there for you. All right, so I'm going to stop there for a bit now, let everybody catch up. So you should end up with 5 pieces of your plain white card, 5 pieces of your colour card, and 5 pieces of your patterned paper.
Let's just quickly go through these, because I knew these questions would come, and this is absolutely fine. This is what we're here for.
Don't be afraid to ask.
So, Jane says, what was the size of the coloured card? 10 1/2 by?
5 1/2.
Right.
Yep, so that was the plain coloured one there, yep. 10 1/2 by 5 1/2.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask if you've got a question. That's what it's all about when we're doing these craft alongs.
And Pammy says, I need that measurement again. I think that's probably from what you were cutting just then, because that literally came in 1 minute ago.
The paper one?
Yeah.
Yep, so the paper one was 9 1/2 by 5 1/4. Okay. So 9 1/2 in length, 5 1/4 tall. Okay. If I show you them like this now, you'll see what I've done with the layers, because they're all cut just like you were doing with the matting and layering to give you that border.
Yeah.
But you will end up with odd gaps at one end. Don't worry about that. I'll explain why it's like that. But you can see here, we've got that traditional 1/8 of an inch border to create that matting and layering like you would do just if you're making a card.
Okay. Excellent stuff. How exciting is this? We're all crafted along. I think we're all pretty good. Any more questions at any point, get those in. Deborah just saying, I'm loving this, and Jan allowing extra time for that screenshot as well. That's what we're here for. We've got 2 hours. If this takes an hour, it takes an hour. If it takes all 2 hours, it takes all 2 hours. That's absolutely fine. I just want to show you some other items which you might want to jump in and grab, which loads of you are going for. The extras of the Masquerade Ball cardstock is proving really, really popular. So if you just want to go for the 12 by 12 papers and the luxury cardstock as well, you can do. Details on your screen right now for that. But as you've already seen, just a stunning, stunning colour palette. I love the flecks of foiling that you get with this as well. And there's so much snippability. Your papers, by the way, are double-sided, just to let you know. But this is just highlighting all of those different designs that you've got within your beautiful 12 by 12. And again, I love that as that's sort of just laid down and then flicked up. You see just the little flecks of foiling coming through. The musical script on that one I just think is beautiful. The florals, the feathers in there as well. And again, I think we both agree that this one particularly, with that sort of harlequin design, that sort of jester design going on, is stunning. This one as well, with that shall we dance. I mean, snip into that, you've got yourself, again, plenty of items to be using in this beautiful collection. That's the paper pad. And then on top of that, you're also going to get your sheets of luxury mixed cardstock as well. And again, we've not left you guessing here because you can see how perfectly that cardstock works with the colour palette from the actual collection itself. You're going to get sheets of your mirror card, sheets of your matte mirror card, and then you've also got like that pearlescent effect going on in all of these beautiful colours as well, from your fuchsia through to that beautiful gold. You've got your oranges in there, your purples as well. It's a stunning collection. Top up, or maybe if you're going for the collection today, add more in. $19.99 or $23.96 is the deal on that. Double points. We've replicated that deal from the launch as well. Don't forget. Right, next up, the luxury cards. So this collection, again, is gorgeous. I mean, this is going to be beautiful to work with the Masquerade collection, but also lots of Christmassy colours right there, with Christmas just around the corner. It's 90 sheets in total, 30 sheets within each of the packs. And again, you get a mixture here. So you're going to get 10 sheets in each of your beautiful glitter cardstock. You've then got 10 sheets in each of your mirror cardstock. And then you've also got your matte mirror cardstock in there as well. So that equates to your 90 sheets. Beautiful, as I say, just to add even more weight to this collection. But I think with Christmas on the horizon as well, that's a rather lovely colour palette to be working with. £15.60 platinum price, $25.20, and double points, of course, as well. Let us head over to New Orleans very quickly and just see that everything is well with Susie. Loads going on. How are you getting on, Susie T? Everything making sense so far? Any questions you want to ask Jan?
Nope, I'm good. I didn't like one of my colors, so I'm cutting one new color.
Well, that's the
background paper.
That's the thing, though, with this collection as well, isn't there? You obviously love the colour palette, love the papers in here.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it's perfect.
Absolutely
Susie's
gorgeous.
actually in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Matches the collection perfectly.
Excellent stuff.
Mardi Gras is in February-ish.
When is Mardi Gras? February?
February, yeah.
February, I think, this year.
Yeah. And what kind of, just out of interest, like what kind of festivities do you have? Is it like a day long, a week long? What happens there?
Weeks long, leading up to Mardi Gras. There's weeks and weeks of parades and parties and all kinds of festivities.
Wow.
It's
We need to get
crazy.
over there, Jan.
I know, I've only ever seen it on TV and it looks fantastic. It's so colourful.
It's
That's
not
the bit that
like-
strikes, isn't it? It's so colourful.
The actual day of Mardi Gras, that's the last day of all of the partying and everything. There's 2, 3, 4 weeks leading up to Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
So by that
amazing.
point, everyone's on the floor then. They're all tired out.
Exactly. So if you're going to come to visit, you want to come and do the 2 weeks before Mardi Gras.
Well, I tell you what, Johnny says he'll come visit. I'll come over. Jan's there. We'll sort it all out after the show, Susie, but definitely up for a bit of Mardi Gras.
I've got a guest house. Come on down.
Yay! Love this. We're sorting out our own holidays now as well as crafting along. Brilliant stuff. Lots of lovely comments coming through. By the way, loads of people loving the fact that Susie is joining us on the craft along as well. Susie, do make sure you check the comments coming through. Joy says, Susie, what a lovely surprise. Anne says, yay, Susie T. Gilmore says, hugs to Susie. And Margaret just said, good afternoon, all my lovely crafty friends. I'm on time today. I wouldn't miss Jan. Faye says, I'm crafting along with the vintage diary collection, my Masquerade collection.
Nice.
It's still in transit, but that's the point though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can craft along with this.
Translated
but
into anything.
Yeah, try whatever.
Yeah, I think the one I did previously was when we launched the Knitwit collection, and I did it using the Blooms with Grace when I had it here at Crafters TV. And again, you know, whatever collection you do this with, it's the same process, and it will look stunning no matter what you use. I'd love to see the vintage diary one. I bet that's one of my favourite collections. So right, are we ready to carry on, do you think?
I think we probably are, yeah.
I just wanted to mention before we do the next step that you will, when I asked you with a list of requirements that I'd put down, you will have a piece of cardstock and a piece of pattern paper left over. All right, so I'll come back to those. We're going to cut these down for the mats and layers for the front and the back of the actual book when we've made it. So I'm going to pop those to one side and we'll come back to them in a little bit. The next job we need to do is the scoring on the cardstock that we've just cut. So all of it is going to need scoring, and we're basically going to go in half to make that, like I said, the white bit is going to be like a card blank. So whatever your length is here, so we've got an 11.5-inch length, we're going to pop that in half, and on this one it means it's going to be scored at the 5 3/4 mark.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go along mine 2 marks before the 6 there, and we're going to score straight down the centre. And I like to do sort of gentle pressure a couple of times rather than going in really hard. Okay, it doesn't show up quite so well on the white. You can just see, can you see the line there?
Yeah.
Just pick it up. And I'm going to do exactly the same on all of those white pieces. So just button it up to the left-hand side of your scoreboard. Make sure it's nice and straight. Taking it across, 5 3/4 are 2 marks before the 6, and just a couple of nice score lines down there just to reinforce. And what this does, it starts to break up the fibres in the card so that when you come to fold it, you're going to get a really nice crisp fold. I know before I sort of started in the world of crafting, you used to fold things in half and you got that awful sort of ridged bit down the fold that never quite looked right somehow. But just doing this just gives you that nice neat fold in the middle. Now I think I've missed one because I think I'd only done one just there. Did I say I thought I'd only got 4 there? And there's the 5th one at 5 3/4. So the white card in half, they'll all be the same.
Yeah.
Okay, scored down the centre at 5 3/4.
Just do it on the one side is fine.
Just
yeah?
on the one. You can do it on both if you wish. I only do it on one side on mine, but again, it doesn't make any difference. You know, if you want to do it on both sides, absolutely fine.
Okay.
So then we're going to come on to the pile of coloured cardstock that we did now. So again, we've got 10.5 inches here. So don't get confused with this one. All right, because half of 10.5 is going to be 5 1/4.
So just recap again, a few people asking about where we're scoring on the white cardstock, just to recap.
Yep, so on the white cardstock then we did half of our length.
Yep.
So half of the 11.5 just happens to be the 5 3/4. So we've scored all this down along that long side,
Yep.
down the centre at 5 3/4. And what this will do is give you essentially your card blank.
Right.
All right, when we come to fold all these and burnish those folds, you'll get your 5 3/4 inch square card blank to start off with, okay?
Okay.
So then again, as I say, we're going to come to the coloured pieces.
Okay.
And these are 10.5 inches along that long side. So half of our 10.5 is 5 1/4.
Okay.
So this time I'm going to bring it in and go 5 and 2 extra marks. And again, nice and gentle. Don't apply too much pressure all at once. The last thing you want to do is actually go through your cardstock. It's just encouraging it and letting it know that that's where we're going to fold it. So 5 1/4 inches. Okay.
So that's
now,
two along from the number 5, yeah?
2 along from the number
Got
5.
you.
Yeah. Each one of these marks is 1/8 of an inch.
Yep.
All right. So 5 and 2 marks is your 5 1/4. Now, if you've got a card that is white on one side, so some of them are double-sided. The pearlized card is double-sided. Okay, so that's not so bad.
Okay.
But if you've got one that's white on one side, I want you to score on the white side. And I'll explain why when we come to fold them, all right? So again, we're going to go to 5 1/4 and just a couple of gentle presses onto that one.
This is fun, this.
All right. And then my purple one is the same on both sides, so it doesn't matter which side we score. But 5 1/4 again.
Yep.
And you'll tend to find that it's the satin and the shiny ones that are white. So any that have got a white side, turn them over so that you're scoring the white side.
Okay.
So 5 1/4 again. So we're literally just halving that length. All right.
Okay.
And then again, I've got a pearlized one for the last one. So it doesn't matter which side, but 5 1/4. Okay.
Yes.
So we've got all those at the ready. And then the last pile. So don't worry if you're not quite kept up. I will repeat any of it and we'll have a little pause at the end when we've done them all so that you guys can catch up.
Yeah.
So again, on the pattern paper then, I want you to score on the side that's going to be the reverse basically. So I want this side to show in my book. So I'm going to flip it over and score on the other side. All right, now we've got 9.5 inches this time. So half of the 9.5 is going to be 4 3/4. Yep, 4 3/4. So 4, and then you've got 6 of the marks, or 2 before the 5.
2 before the 5.
Yep, 2 before the 5. So 4 3/4 straight down the centre. Just bearing in mind that this is paper, so you don't need quite as much pressure, because as I say, sometimes it's easy to pop that score tool and crack the paper. All right, so again, look which side you want to see in your book, flip it over, and measure then at 4 3/4.
Okay.
So again, lighter pressure, a couple of times just to get that line in place. And all 5 of them, I want to see this side, so I'm going to flip it over at 4 3/4.
Oh,
Okay.
make sure you do the other side. So you're doing it on the reverse, you
On
said
the
as well, aren't
reverse,
you?
yeah. So again, this is the side I want to see. Flip it over and 4 3/4. And then our last piece there, again, I want to see this side with all the detail on. So I'm going to flip it over and go at 4 3/4. Okay. So that's all our scoring done for the time being. I'm going to pop those to one side. I'm going to do the next step, and then I'm going to let you guys all catch up with me, because the next step's really easy. Once we've got our 3 piles of card going on, all right, we're just going to take them and literally fold along the score line. Make sure everything's lined up nice and neatly and it's all square, and then take your bone folder and give it a really good burnish along that fold line. So you're going to create yourself a pile of card blanks with the white. I'm going to do all the white pile.
Oh, right, okay.
Then I'm going to come to the cardstock, the coloured cardstock. Now, the reason I asked you to turn it over, let me do this one for you and show you. I like to score on the side that I'm folding away from. All right, that makes sense to me, that if you're breaking the fibres in the card, why would you fold them in against each other? So the fact that I'm folding away and making that mountain fold, I like to score on that side because I want the colour on the inside to show. So this is going to layer up inside our white layer, and we need to see the colour. So that's the reason I asked you to flip those pieces. And again, just make sure that all the edges fill together nicely. And then whatever you're using, if you don't have a bone folder, you can use the edge of your scissors. You can use the edge of your score tool, whatever you've got, just to actually make sure that that crease is nice and firm. And then I'm going to do the same. And that's, again, why I asked you to score on the other side. Because I'm going to fold it away from myself with that lovely design on the inside, I've scored on that top side there. And again, line up those corners and use your bone folder or whatever it is you're using just to create that fold, and we're going to end up with a set of 3 like so. Okay. I want you to do that to all of them. So while we move on a second, all right, whatever we're going to do, because I know our Ben's busy folding as well, I'm going to carry on and I'm going to fold and burnish all the other pieces so that I've got sets of 3 like so.
Okay.
All right. So now then, Ben, I'm going to throw it back to you, and you were in the middle of folding, weren't you?
No, it's fine. I'm proving that a man really can
multitasking, aren't you?
Lots of love coming in. Well, I'm pleased to know that there's not much in the way of questions or pauses and stuff, so that is really, really good. Nefertiti to say Mardi Gras starts on February the 25th, March till the March the 1st. I believe that's supposed to be my vacation. Jan Robbins says, hi Jan and Ben from Ravello, Italy.
Hi.
Hello Jan. She says, I'm watching while making Craig's crackers and box, so I hope I don't mix them up. That'd be an interesting project, wouldn't it? Marion says, I'm going to make this in either the beautiful papers or the vintage collections.
Again, that would look lovely, yeah, the beautiful ones, wouldn't it?
Katie says, isn't Jan such an amazing teacher? She is.
Thank you.
Yes. And Crafty Angie says, good morning, Jan. How would I love to craft along with you, for you are the best teacher, but I have to do some teaching myself this morning. I'll play it back and work with you in replay.
That's fine. That's what it's there for. It's the fact that it stays there, doesn't it? So you can access this. Once we finish with our live, you can go back and access it whenever you want. You can pause me. You can look at those screenshots where we've got the measurements. You can mute me if you wish. I don't mind. I won't be offended.
They're like, no, mute Ben, not Jan.
But yeah, it's there for you to keep, and you can actually sort of save them in your folders so that you've got them to go back to as and when you want to watch them and use them. Yeah.
And just to say as well, one other question. Look at me. Walking, talking,
Look
crafting.
at this. Are you folding and burnishing while you're talking? I'm impressed.
I know, it's not easy, this is it. Well, there's a question coming, Kathy, who says, what white paper have you used? So I suppose the cardstock, what did we use?
The cardstock is our stamping card, and that's my go-to for card blanks and things like that. I keep saying that we need to rename it all-purpose card, because it is really great for making card blanks. It's of a good weight, you can use it. I use it for boxes and construction. So yeah, the outside layer, that was all white was our stamping card. But if you don't have stamping card, just something that's a decent weight, because this is going to be sort of the bones of the design that's going to hold it all together. So you don't want anything really flimsy. I wouldn't use, for example, our Nina cardstock. It's too thin for the job. So again, I'm always talking about things being fit for purpose. Make sure you've got the right. It's worth sort of putting in that extra little bit, because the last thing you want to do when you finish is stand it up and it just won't hold its weight.
Yes.
Because with all the layers of cardstock and we're going to stick together, there's going to be a fair bit of weight involved in it, yeah.
Carol Ann says, Ben, you are doing fab. Thank you. I've only done this so far. Jeanette says, I really enjoy watching and learning from Jan. Me too. And Sue says on YouTube, Jan, on Facebook, where do I find you to follow? Because we've all got our own pages, Jan.
Yeah, mine is just Jan Brown at Crafters Companion. So is it Jan Brown?
CC.
CC, isn't it? Yeah. So if you just type my name in, it should come up as an option for you.
There you go.
I'm also on Instagram as well. So I try and post on both, because I know there's not everybody has Facebook. And I have had people mention that, where they've said, oh, thank you for putting it on Instagram, because I don't use Facebook. So all of us use both. So yeah, you'll find us there. Just pop me in the search bar and it should come up.
I think I'm all burnished and folded.
I've just got to the end of all mine.
You guys all good at home as well? Hopefully you are. Susie's all good. We're getting the thumbs up from New Orleans. And I tell you what, let's have a bit of a break, because I need one. Oh dear. If you haven't yet got this collection and you're loving the idea of doing this craft along, this is the full collection here, all right? If you want to go for the option of picking and choosing, you can spend £35 or $35 and get an extra 10% off. But this is the way to go. Same deal that we did at our launch at the Sweet 16th birthday, because it's double points on this, as it is for everything right across this weekend. So let's give you a little bit of a break time like we're at school. Right, it's break time, everybody. The bell's for me, it's not for you. Don't run. Hey, take your time. Yeah, single file, no football in the playground. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, $1 or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Achieve crisp, precise, and perfect die cutting results every time with the Gemini Accessories Plastic Shim. The idea behind the plastic shim is that it creates a thicker plate combination, offering an even more precise die cutting result with each pass. Simply pop a plastic shim between your cutting plates and then roll through your Gemini die cutting machine and voila! An amazing precise cut every time. Plastic shims work really well with detailed or thin metal dies. So if intricate cutting is your thing, then the Gemini Accessories Plastic Shim is your best friend. There are plastic shims sized to work with a whole range of Gemini machines. We have some awesome deals going, so visit Crafters Companion website and find out more.
Thank you for all the comments. Glad that you're all loving this and enjoying this. Jan says, Loretta, I try my best to never miss you when you're on. Angela saying, Jan must have been a truly loved teacher. Education's loss has truly been crafters' gain.
Oh, bless.
I just love all that you do, says Angela.
I can't wait to start with my little one, because my daughter's considering homeschooling our little Toby. And I can't wait to get involved in that. It's been another sort of journey because it's something I knew nothing about. But the more we've looked into it, I think she's leaning towards it. And honestly, that he picks things up so quickly that it's going to be, hopefully, you know, a doddle to teach him. So yes. He'll have a pretty good teacher, won't he, as well? With my youngest daughter's a maths teacher, so we've got all the maths covered. So you're sorted. Who needs school? Kids, if you're watching, school is very important. It is. As Mr. T would say, don't be a fool, stay in school. And Sarah Brown says, Ben, before I go, you are doing a fabulous job. Well done. Thank you. I will post whatever I manage to make on my socials at the end of the show. I just wanted to very quickly just run through the deal really, really quickly, okay? Because I know we all want to get back to this. But the main collection brings you, of course, all of your consumables. So your beautiful paper pad, 24 sheets, and then you've got your beautiful sheets of cardstock as well in that mixture of the matte mirror cardstock, and then you've almost got one which is it's kind of like a pearlescent finish to it. That's all included in the deal. And then you've got all of your dies. So you've got a beautiful little Celebrate die in there, which is super, super handy. All of your feathers, which you're going to be using over the course of this demo as well, your flamboyant feathers. 2 of those come with your outer edge die as well. The elegant mask, again, which is going to be a central point with this particular demonstration. I mean, the chic chandelier. Just look, I mean, the detail that you get in all of these dies is absolutely phenomenal. It blows my mind how we managed to do what we do here. It's so delicate. Yeah. And like again, the embossing folders. I mean, come on, are you joking me? Look at the detail that you're going to get with each and every emboss that you create. The Masquerade mask. This is the one you used this earlier, didn't you? Yes, that was the first one that we did. Yeah, with the letterpress. Yes. Where we put the ink into the folder. Yeah. Gorgeous. You've got a beautiful selection of stamps in here as well. The Masquerade sentiment. Again, I love the fact that you've got the little patterns in there. That harlequin patterns are great for making your own backgrounds. You've got your little script in there as well. It's like a we tried to translate it the other day. It's like an invitation to the ball in French. That's how I translated it with my dodgy A-level maths. French. Always maths. Comes in handy. No wonder I couldn't translate it. I was using maths. Because you mentioned a math teacher a minute ago. That's why I was never very good at languages. I was always in the maths class. Yeah, that's why I failed my A-levels. Oh dear. Ready for the ball is again the beautiful feathers, the Masquerade mask. You've got the frame there, which is like your mirror, isn't it? So you're getting ready for the ball. You can see all of your garments that you're putting on, and then we arrive at the ball with this beautiful set. Shall we dance? With that couple dancing the night away. Again, that chandelier features. Love the fan and that beautiful old vintage chair. You've got the Shall We Dance sentiment, and again, even more of that beautiful musical script going on too. That is the full collection, $47.99 or $75.96. As I said, if you want to go for more of the paper and cardstock, that's available for you individually on another deal. So you get all of everything I've just shown you, and then you can get more of the paper and the cardstock as well for $19.99 or $23.96. And again, as I said, that is the deal that we did at our birthday, because it is double points on this as well. If you want to pick and choose, again, don't forget you can do that. £35 or $35 spend will get you an extra 10% off at checkout as well. Right, are we ready to move? I think we are. Yep. What's the next step, Jan? Right, so what I want you to do next then is decide which order you want to put them with. So, like I said, when I first started out, I was very much a case of purple paper, purple card, but then decided to match it all up. So all I want you to do is decide which pattern paper you're going to put with which of your backing pieces. Okay. And literally just get them all together. I've just sorted through mine. Again, the pink picks out, we've got all the colours in that particular harlequin. I went for the yellow with this one because you've got those elements of the yellow in the pattern. And again, I went with the pink with the purple because we've got that in here. And then the orange one ended up just being with the orange by default. So that's just the way it fell. So get them all together, all right? And then the next bit, again, I tend to do this in sort of like production line order, but I'm going to do one of them to show you where we're at. So I've taken my, let me look, 6mm. It's not the thinnest of the red line tapes. It's the next one.
Okay.
I wouldn't advise the widest one, all right, because where we're going to stick these just down one end, the less of it that's stuck together, the better to form that star shape. So what I want you to do, and again, this takes a few minutes, and I tend to do this laboriously sort of along all of them. So I want you to take your pieces of cardstock or paper, flip them over, and along the short sides, right at the very edge, I want you to pop a line of tape. Now you can use your tape pens,
which is
for
what
this.
I'm using.
So if you've got a double-sided tape pen, then just hang fire.
Okay.
Because obviously we're going to do this as we go along. Those of you that want to use the red line tape, then we're literally just going to pop it on all the pieces. So it's going to take a few minutes for us to catch up. So again, I'm just going to work my way through the whole pile and literally pop a piece of double-sided at each end. Then I'm going to go the same onto the back of my coloured card, but don't pop any on your white. Keep the white pile separate. It's just the pattern paper and the coloured cardstock. You want to strip at each end. All right, so again, it's just going to take me a couple of minutes, Ben, to go through these.
So I'm hanging fire with tape
If
pen?
you hang fire, because
Right.
obviously yours are going to be tacky when you use the tape pen, so we'll do that as we put them into the card.
Right.
In fact, what I'll do is I'll make this one up and show you what we're doing, and then people can either do it as they go along,
Yeah.
or they can. I tend to go through and put all the tape on first. But what I will do is show you what happens next, because those of you that want to use tape pens, you can do that bit as we go along.
And just to say, Barbara says, how many pages should I have? So you should have
There should be 5
15.
sets.
Yeah.
5 sets altogether. So
Yeah.
you'll have 15 sheets. You'll have 5 white, 5 in your chosen colours, and 5 in your chosen pattern
Right.
papers. All right. So I'm going to put this one together to show you how it fits together. And those of you guys that are going to use the tape pen, I'll explain where we need to go. So first thing I want you to do is get your white piece at the ready. And then the next one to go in is going to be your coloured piece. So if you're going to use a tape pen, I would just do them one side at a time. And you're going to run that tape pen as close to the edge as you can. Maybe pop a piece of scrap paper under it or something, because I want you to get the tape as close to the edge of that piece as you can. And maybe run a couple of lines over the top of each other, but don't come too far into the card. If, like me, you've got your red line tape, I'm just going to take the liner off just one edge at a time.
Okay.
And then I find it easier to work this way. So I've turned my card long ways. I've got the fold so that it's a valley. The fold's inside here, and the same for this one. So all the folds are going into the middle. And then what I want you to do is, just as if you were making a card and doing your matting and layering, I want you to line up that piece so that you've got an even gap, about 1/8 of an inch, all the way round 3 sides.
Yep.
And then really give that piece a good press down so that it's fastened nice and securely on that edge. All right, so this is just the same as if we were going to mat and layer. And then you think, well, it's all gone wrong, Jan, because nothing's lined up, but that's the whole idea of it. So the next one, if you're using your tape pen, then you're going to do the same. Pop your piece of scrap paper underneath to protect what's underneath it, and run a line of tape, maybe a couple of times, just down that edge as close as you can get it.
So the fact that it looks a bit offset is right?
Yes, don't worry about it.
Okay.
All will become revealed in a second. And again, I find it easiest to turn this edge to me now. So I've got this facing me,
Yeah.
and I've got my tape is on the edge of this one. And then what you're going to do is sort of, not stretch it as such, because you can't stretch the card, but you're going to pull this one until you've got that same border at this edge. So again, line it up so that you've got that 1/8 of an inch
Oh, I see what you mean.
all the way round, and
Yeah.
give it a good press down. And what you'll find then is that you can see there's a difference here, and this is going to be the beginning of that effect.
Like that?
Did he do it?
And like that?
Yep. That's
there.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why this piece is slightly shorter.
Got ya.
All right. And again, we're going to do the same with your patterned piece. So flip it over. Either take your red line off or put your line of tape down it again.
Okay.
And again, I tend to work from one end first. All right. And I'm going to do the same again. I'm just going to line this up so that I've got that 1/4 inch, just as if you were matting and layering on an ordinary card. And once you're happy with it, drop it into position and give it a good sort of press to secure it. Yeah? And then rotate it all the way around to the other end again, and you're going to have the same thing happen. So what we're going to do is stretch this one to get that 1/8 inch and secure it, and you'll see why we start to make that star shape in the middle. This is just going to be one section of the star. So I'm going to take the liner off the back of here. Again, if you're using your tape pen, you want another line of tape down the edge there.
You're going to have a tape pen I can borrow? Might have to get another.
All right, and then again, just line it, sort of pull it towards you and line it up where you've got that 1/8 inch border. And because you're only sealing that one edge, it's not too difficult to actually get that into shape. So you should end up with a piece that sort of looks quite odd. You know, it won't lay flat, but we don't want it to lay flat. But you've got that sort of tiering in the back of it there. But what it will do is fold flat this way. Yeah? If you've got a little tiny bit of a ridge in it, just reinforce that fold with your bone folder. Just get everything to lay nice and flat. And that's number 1 done. Okay? And again, we're going to do exactly the same for all 5 pieces. So you will end up with 5 of these with that shaping, all right, in the back.
So is that, can I just ask a question, Miss?
Yes.
So that's looking okay then, is it?
It looks fine from here.
Have I got the,
yeah. Bring it
there.
this way, yeah. Yeah, you can see it's got that sort of, that little bit of a gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
Excellent.
So if I open this one again here, if I open the one that I've done, you can see now in here when this is open. Yeah. If we have a look at that, you can see that gradation here where we've got the gaps in it. So this is just one section of that 5.
Oh, I get.
They're all going to go back to back to back to back all the way round until we've literally got that piece that's all fastened together.
I see.
So what I want you to do now is to do exactly the same with your other 4 pieces.
Right.
So take one of your white pieces, and then again I'm just going to pop, because I've not done my tape yet, I'm going to pop the tape on each end, but you're just going to go through systematically and literally secure all those pieces like we've just done that first one, so that you end up with 5 of them that look like this. All right, now everybody works at a different rate. So again, as I say, there's no rush. We've got plenty of time. And this is the bulk of it done. Once we've got this and stuck them together, then we get to do the decorating, which is the sort of fun part. Okay. All right, this is the construction bit. Yeah. And then the fun part is deciding how you want to decorate it.
All right.
Okay.
Still some great comments coming through. This is all so beautiful, says Katie Easley. And mate, I have to actually sacrifice and cut into my papers.
Oh, that's the hard part.
That is the hard part, but you can get yourself more papers.
That's why I always buy 2 of everything.
Yeah, get one set to craft with and one set to
look
keep
at,
and look at and love
and stroke
and blow
and
kisses
sniff.
at. Crafty Angie says, I'm happy that you are crafting. You inspire me. Well, that's what we're here to do. Thank you, Crafty Angie. Samantha says, you're doing great, Ben. Thank you. I'm impressing myself, actually. And Anne says, very good, Ben, with some clappy emojis. Thank you. We're all having a great time here, hopefully. And as we say, hopefully you're at this point now where you're just doing the construction of it. Yep. We will sort of give you time to do that. I'm going to obviously have to have a bit of time to do that as well. So if there's any questions in the meantime that you want to chuck our way to, then you can do if you're a little bit behind or you need to ask again. It's such a great concept, this. Is this something that I've not seen it that often, Jan, I suppose, is what I want to say. Is it quite a new concept, this?
I don't think so. I think it's certainly not my own design. I'm not going to take credit for it. It's been done lots of different times. I've just seen it when I've been sort of, perusing and thought, oh, I'll have a go at that. And you can make it any size. You know, I just stuck with that 5 3/4 square purely because that's the largest square card we can get out of a piece of A4. But there's nothing to stop you, going larger or going small. You could make a little diddy one of this. It would look really cute. Yeah. It's the same principle, and all I've done is the length, I've come down 1 inch each time, and the depth of it, I've come down 1/4 inch each time. All right, so that's all it is, the dimensions on it, you know. So you could make this a larger one if you've got A3 cardstock and make it as a memory album. So you could actually put, you know, little photo corners in to put photographs in it and make it as a memory album. You know, however you want to do it. If it's a really special birthday or an anniversary.
I think it should be nice at Christmas as
yeah,
well.
Christmas cards.
Christmas cards, yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice as a sort of a wedding gift or a baby gift. You know, you could put, as I say, little photos in there, little memories in there. Again, it's just, and I like the fact that it is, as I say, when you see the construction of it, it is actually fairly straightforward. It's just working through it systematically and getting each one done. So, you know, I'm not rushing this. I've just completed my second one now.
Me too.
And again, once it's done, fold it all flat and just give everything a nice sort of secure to make sure it folds nice and flat.
Is it right? Because mine feel a little bit bulgy.
Yes, they will do, because you've got those score lines in
fine.
the middle. Yeah, but you'll see now that we've got two ready. These first two are going to stick. What we're going to do eventually is literally stick these back to back.
Yeah.
And work our way around it. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on with my pieces now. So I'm taking each time a piece of the white, which we said effectively was our card blank. And then I'm just going to put my tape. It does take a wee bit longer with the tape. But as I say, I am a lover. You know I like my red line tape.
So see, I'm on my second lot now.
There you go. Look, perfect. Yep.
That way, isn't it? There you go. Yeah. So eventually, yeah, you stick them. I'm getting the hang of this now.
Yeah. You see how it's going to come together.
Yeah.
And as I say, you know, what we're doing isn't that difficult. It is just almost like an extension of matting and layering, basically.
Yeah.
So when we put it together, there's a couple of things to think about with regards to things like orientation of your paper, to make sure, obviously, that everything's the right way up. And I'm going to flip to my all-purpose glue when I put it together, because that sets rock solid and it gives the whole thing some real sort of support and rigidity when it's going to be opened and closed and maybe opened up to be displayed.
Yeah.
So you want something that's going to hold up to the job.
Yeah.
So again, I'm making sure I've got my white piece there with the fold inside, my coloured piece with the fold inside, taking off that line of tape.
Mo's just said,
lining it up.
This is what I do with my fabric. I buy one to stroke and cherish and another one to use.
Yeah, we're all the same. I think we're all in the same club, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got paper pads from years back that have never been touched. I just can't bear to cut into them all. And I always buy the second one to use and actually cut up. So again, you can see we're just doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's like a little production line, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is. And that I find that's the easiest way to do it. Normally, I would have gone through and sat and spent a few minutes putting the tape on all the pieces, and then next doing all the sticking, and then the next step is going to be popping them together. So again, popping those pieces off.
Susie's well up with us, apparently. Johnny just tells me she's crafted along nicely.
Fantastic.
In New Orleans. If you are, by the way, I know there's quite a lot of people in the comments have said that they're going to craft along later.
Yep.
If you are crafting along with us live now, do let us know in the comments and make sure you send in your pictures. If we don't get, I think we probably will, but if we don't get a chance to show them in this show, we will show them in the craft house a little bit later on. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. It's lovely to see what you guys have done. It really, really is. It's going to be Jan here with George Kids. Lovely George is going to be in this evening. I am off to
I think he's en route as we speak, I think, isn't he?
Hey?
I think he's en route as we speak.
He is en route. he's already ordered his takeaway, because the team are having takeaway tonight.
Oh, we've got to do the important things first, haven't we?
Exactly right. Yeah, it's the first thing you did.
Get the priorities right.
Yeah, everyone's having a burger, I think. Or is it burger or pizza, is it tonight, I think? Burgers, is it? Burgers tonight. I'm quite sad I'm missing out, actually. I mean, I'm looking forward to going to the firework display with my family, just in case they're watching. But missing out on a Dreamy's Craft House, burger and pizza. Yeah, there's got to be burgers at the firework display, isn't there?
Yeah, we went to ours on ours was on Thursday night. They're never on bonfire night, are they?
Well, they're over like a course. I think it's the same as like with Mardi Gras with Susie, isn't it? You know, I think it seems to be like from around about now up until Christmas time and beyond, there's fireworks all over the place.
Yeah.
Bonfire night seems to go on for about 2 weekends, and then people start having Christmas firework displays and all sorts. So yeah.
Yeah, we took Toby on Thursday. He was fascinated, bless him, because last year, none of us were out and about that much, and he was only young last year. So
how old is Toby now?
He'll be 2 in February.
Aww.
Believe it or not, it's flown by.
Yeah.
He's really coming, a proper little toddler now, bless him. His speech is coming on beautifully. You can have a little chat with him.
So
but yeah,
cute, isn't it?
Boom, boom, boom. He got his little ear defenders on
Oh,
because the
of course.
fireworks were so loud.
Yeah.
But he loved it. We had some little sparklers and everything. He was so good, bless him. But he gets so busy and so involved in everything that he just tires himself out, and then he just got so tired. It was like, home.
I love it with Thomas. I remember when my Daisy, particularly when she was little, and she would just be on the go all the time, and then all of a sudden it would just be almost like they just
it's like
collapse.
the batteries run out, isn't it?
Yeah, the batteries just go.
Bless him.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I'm on number 4. We're getting there slowly.
Yeah.
But it is very repetitive, and I think anything like this, because you're repeating that same process, it's almost like building muscle memory. Once you've got this into your mind as to how it goes together, as I say, that repetition is just reinforcing what you're actually doing. So you can see now I've actually got 4 of mine at the ready now. You can see how it's starting to come and take its shape. I've just got that last one to fit together now.
Making a bit of a mess of the counter over here. Sorry, I've got some glue on the counter. It's a bit mucky there. Might need some
shocking
spray.
We didn't give you a mat, did we, to work on?
Didn't give no mat, no pinny or apron.
No pinny. It's not that bad. No. You're only using a bit of glue, Mr. Mosley.
Oh dear. Should I get a mat, do you think? I'm making a bit of a mess over here.
It
is a bit late. It'll come off, won't it?
It should come off,
It's only a bit of glue. Yeah. I haven't got to clear it up anyway because I'm out the door at 5 o'clock. So
if all else fails, we'll get the sticker way out. That clears everything up.
And I'll tell you what, if that fails, I'll just blame George. George, what a mess you made. You came in for one show. God, no, not you, George. We're not blaming you. George A-Kid. We'll blame him. Well, it was neat and tidy when I left, George, at 5 o'clock. Do you know what I like about this as well is the fact that, I mean, I'm obviously doing the sort of matting and layering, but you don't have to measure it every time, do you, and worry too much. It's just...
Well, once you've done that cutting at the beginning, everything's the right size to fit where it needs to go.
Yeah.
It's just a case of literally working your way through it. And I don't mind this sort of thing at all. I just like to see it coming together. So again, we've got that last piece going down now, and then I just need my piece of pattern paper, and we're just about there.
So I'm just, here we go.
So then again, just that matting and layering.
Ah, yes. How many are you on your last one?
I'm on my last one, yep. Just finishing that last edge there, just to get that nice and straight. And then they're all ready now. I've got all the pieces ready. You can see how they're all going to fit to make that star now there. Okay, so we'll just see where everybody's at, Ben, before we do that next bit, and make sure that everybody's got to that same place.
Okay. I am still just going.
Are you still sticking?
I've got one more to do. A couple of comments. Janine saying, such a beautiful project. Mary Lee saying, Jan, your instructions are always so clear and accurate. It makes following you so easy. I never miss one of your shows. I love your style.
Thank you very much. I do enjoy this side of it. The teaching aspect, I must admit, is my sort of favourite. I like the demoing, but actually the teaching, because I think it's because I did it for so long. You know, I've sort of moved from teaching kiddies science and things like that and art to sort of teaching the crafting. And I particularly like the construction stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love making cards, but I like anything that involves some kind of construction or sort of 3D element as well, yeah. So I think we'll just let everybody to that same stage.
Yes.
And then I'm going to bring my collal all-purpose and we're going to start sticking them together then.
All right. Deborah says, made notes, stamping sentiments of Christmas cards isn't going too well. I find Jan so interesting to watch and listen to. Ben, you're doing great. And Carol Ann says, tut, tut, ha, ha, glue on the table. You can't take Ben anywhere, can you? You most certainly can't. But remember, it was George's fault.
Are you the one that dribbles the gravy on the tablecloth when it's lunchtime at a Sunday lunch?
My wife, you need to have a chat with my Laura at some point. She's always like, Make sure you put like a serviette or a napkin on. I'll be like, no, I'm absolutely fine. You're not. You're going to spill it. You're not. You're going to spill it.
And the world's worst. Down your front. They all laugh at me. Like, Vanessa offers me Toby's bib. Here, Mum, do you need this?
Yeah, my kids are exactly the same. They're always, I'm like there eating, and then they're all like going, ha, 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 and I look down, there's gravy or ketchup or something. World's worst. Listen, I am going to finish sticking. You finish sticking as well. This is a good point to check out your baskets, and if you've got any questions at this point as well, type those in on Facebook or YouTube. We'll come back, we'll get the questions asked to Jan, and we'll start the next set of this amazing craft along. We're all having fun. It's great. We're back in 2.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Our family of experts. Fun every day.
Quiet.
The information that you needed from that little break. I haven't finished sticking. We can't come back. Can you not load something else up so we can? You can just. I tell you what, that is a good point, Johnny. That's why he's the number one. He said, why don't we go over to Jan whilst you finish off your sticking, and let's just recap on where we are right now with this particular project. If you have just joined us, or if you need a couple of minutes, what have we been doing over the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes, Jan, I suppose?
Right, so we started off cutting all our pieces. We've all got those pieces together. And then it was literally a production line of deciding what order you wanted, which bits were going to go with which, and then sticking. And we've only stuck them. Let me just move this back a second. We've only stuck along that one edge. So everything else here, if I put my tool in here, you can see that it's all loose on the paper layer and the cardstock layer here. So we create this effect. It's almost like an arrow shape, but you've actually got a complete space down the back of it where the spine is.
Yeah.
And that's what allows it to fold flat, but open up to give that point of the star. And then what we're going to do next when we've done this, first of all, I just want you to check that all your designs are the right way up. So the way I've put mine together here, I've literally just got everything sort of lined up where it's going to go. I'm just going to flick around it and make sure that all those patterns are actually, you know, ones that have got an orientation are actually the right way, because the last thing you want to do is stick one of them in and it be upside down. So again, this one's got an obvious right way up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's just one that's got flowers on, you know, you might decide, you know, you might want it this way up. Absolutely fine, yeah. But just make sure they're all in the right place. And then the next thing we're going to do is start sticking together. So I'm going to start, my first one is going to be the purple. Okay. So I'm just going to put a big F on here because this is going to be the front of my booklet. All right, so then it's opened up for the first page, and then this is the bit here that I'm going to stick. So when I take the next one, so I'm just going to follow the design from my original one. The next one was the coloured one here.
Hang on, so the first one you've got down is that one there is the front, did you say? But you've put it face down, right?
Yeah. So
okay.
Started off with it facing me like a book.
Yep.
I put the F on the front. This is the bit that we're going to mat and layer on to make that front of the design like so. Yeah.
Yep.
And then when you open it up, the first one I'd got in here was that purple paper. All right. And then the next one along was that lovely Harlequin pattern paper in there. So literally I've just marked this to remind myself that we're going to put a front on there. I've got this the right way up with the design where I want it. So I'm going to fold that one all the way over, and then the next one, make sure that this orientation is the right way.
Yeah.
And you're going to get these two pieces, and we're going to glue these two together and literally stick them together.
Right.
So I'm going to take my Collal all-purpose for this because, as I say, it sets rock solid. We tend to refer to it as rubber cement, and it does give you a really nice solid. It's almost like adding a third piece of cardstock in here to give it that rigidity. So you just need it on one side. So I'm just going to take the back of that first one.
Can I stick with my tape pens?
Yes. Yep, absolutely. So again, you want it sort of well covered.
Just around the edge.
What I would do if you're using tape pens, Ben, is do both sides.
Oh,
So I
okay.
would go all the way around the edges and then do a cross in the middle, and I would do the same on the other one because the tape pens work really well tape to tape. If you're using a wet glue, literally, you don't need oodles of it, but you do need a good covering.
Right.
Okay? And then I've got these so that they're in the right orientation, and I'm literally going to pop them together along the spine. And this is the beauty of having the wet glue, because you can just sort of wriggle it, and you just want to make sure that these edges are nice and flush, and then it should all line up down this side and down this side. And when you're happy with it, I've folded it flat and give it a good press, particularly along that spine piece here. So give that glue a chance. Now, if you're using the tape pens, Ben, just be careful with you sticking it, because it's a bit harder to line up with a tape pen. Do you want to try the glue, or are you okay with the, has it gone together okay? Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, if you're happy with it, that's fine. I just think the glue gives you a little bit more time to sort of line everything up.
I think it actually, your tip of tape pen both sides has actually helped me there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does work really well together.
Beautiful.
So you can see now I've got my front still.
Yep.
We open it up and we've got the first page, and then it runs straight in to that next page. So again, I'm going to fold that one over, and I'm going to bring my next one in, which I think was, the yellow and green here. So again, making sure it's the right way. Get it at the side here, and I'm going to put the glue, doesn't matter whether you put it on the left or the right, but just on one side if you're using the wet glue. Try and get right up to the edges, but not too much glue that you don't want it to seep out all over the place.
No.
All right, and I do give it a really good covering in there. And then again, I just sort of put my hands inside, bring those spines together, flick them up together, and then because it's the wet glue, you can just wriggle everything into place. If you get a little bit of extra, the collal glue will just rub away from but again, just make sure everything's lined up nicely, and then once it's lined up, you can actually give it a good fold and make sure that glue's stuck nice and well. And as I say, you particularly want to make sure that it's stuck nicely on that, where all the spines gather, which is going to be that central point inside your book. Okay, so just keep checking that everything is all aligned properly. And then I usually give it quite a nice press down that inside. And it's worth taking the time when you're popping this together, because bearing in mind, all people are going to want to do is open it and spit it out and spread it into that star shape. So you want to make sure that every bit of it is stuck. So again, I've got the front, I've now got page 1, page 2, page 3. So flop that one back over, and then I think the next one was the pink, So again, make sure it's the right way.
That's all right, isn't it?
Doing well, look at that, it's looking good.
Not too bad.
Yep.
So same again, right?
Same again, so you're going to pop that F face down at the front.
Yep.
I've got my next one, just check that the paper's the right way up. I've got them ready to go together, and again, you're going to go in with your chosen glue. Okay. So again, I've gone all the way around the edges with the collal. Whoops. Preferably not off the edge, Jan. Make sure it's got a nice good covering. I've just gone off the edge a bit there, so I'm just going to bring that back in.
Oh, hello.
And then again, I tend to just sort of bring them together, line them up, and then you can just wriggle it all into place. If you do get any glue seep out, as I say, if you're using the collal, it will just rub away. All right, so don't worry if you do get a little bit seep out of the edge. It'll just literally take away, unless you've got inky fingers like I often have. And then you might get a nice sort of coloured bit where you've rubbed the glue away. But as long as your hands are clean, it will literally just rub away. And then again, once you've got to that point, I've got some glue inside there from somewhere. Don't know how I managed that. Again, make sure everything's nice and flat. Pay particular attention. I'm really squeezing these spine sections together. I want that glue to spread as far up to the edge as I can get it, because this is going to be that central point here where they're all literally stuck together.
Yeah.
So you want that to be as solid as you can. So I'm really paying attention to the fact that that edge is stuck together nicely. All right, so again, make sure it's all nice and flat. Don't be afraid to just smooth it all with your bone folder. Squidge that glue out.
Bernice has just asked, did Jan use the 6mm red liner?
Yes, I did, yes.
Yep.
Or if you've got the 3mm, the 3mm will work as well, yep. But you can see now why I said don't use the 12, because the more you stick into here on the edges, the less space you're going to have to create that effect on the inside. So that's why I've kept to the narrower ones. So that last one now, again, just make sure it's the right way up. I'm following exactly that same process. I'm going to put the glue onto that last piece here. And I don't know why, I always put the glue on the left-hand side and stick the right-hand side to it, but there's no law that says you have to do that.
Law.
It's just me, I'm a bit OCD with anything like that. If I've done one that way, I have to do them all that way. That's just how my head works. And again, line it up, pop it together, squeeze it into place, line up those edges. All right, any surplus just take out. Okay, and then once you're happy, fold it down on itself, and again, particular attention to that edge there where that spine is, which is going to be your sort of centre of your card. You want to make sure that those are really stuck down well. And obviously the wet glue takes a second or two to stick, and then we're going to leave this to dry while we get on with the next part then. So once that's all together, you should have all 5 of those pieces now that will literally open all the way around. I'm not going to pull it too much until it's dry, but you can see how we're creating that sort of star. I did it! Yeah? So if you've used wet glue, just let it dry before you bend it too far. So I'm going to pop that to one side and just let that dry, and then we're going to start thinking about the next bit. So again, does people just need a couple of minutes to get those stuck together?
Excellent.
We're doing okay for time, aren't we? We've got just over half an hour left. We should be able to get the rest of it done.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm well chuffed with this. This is such a great project, isn't it? Hopefully you're having as much fun as we are here in the studio. Joy's just said this would be a gorgeous vintage Christmas star. And Laurie says, loving Jan's teaching, so straightforward and easy to follow. I made a wedding card for my nephew's wedding with the vintage diary craft along. And they were so in love with the card, they are framing it. Lovely comments coming through. Glad that you are enjoying the show. And let's just show you the deal again. If you want to go for the full collection, everything that you're going to receive in it. I said to Jan in the break, actually, the non-existent break, I find the shows this side, when I'm doing my bits and bobs, they always go really quickly. But then when you add the whole thing of doing a craft project at the same time, I've just looked at the clock. I cannot believe it is 4:25. It is flown by. Having the best time. Should do this more often.
I've got 4 of them this month.
Have you?
This is one of 4. Yep.
Haven't we got another one next weekend?
I think we might have.
Yeah, Friday or Saturday.
I'm not sure if I've got one both days.
Oh, here we go.
Quite possibly.
Here we go.
Yeah, I know I've got 2 consecutive ones, so it must be Friday and Saturday, because that's the only 2. Yeah. Are you in Friday and Saturday?
I'm in Friday and Saturday.
There we go. It's as if it was meant to be, Ben. Yes. My student.
I know. It's like...
I'll do your report card at the end of the session.
Yeah. B+. Must try a bit harder. A for effort, yeah. C for attainment. You've got your stamps in here. So your Shall We Dance, which is that beautiful couple dancing away at the ball. You've got the chair, the chandelier, the beautiful musical script. We've got the Ready for the Ball collection again. It's all about those masquerade masks and the feathers and the butterflies. I love that frame, that mirror that you've got in there too. And then your masquerade sentiments, which is just that, but then you've also got the ability potentially to stamp out and create your own backgrounds as well with the French script that I learnt in maths, the jester design, the harlequin design that you've got going on there. Have a ball, welcome to the Masquerade Ball, and then stunning embossing folders. That masquerade mask is just phenomenal. 3D, of course, with the distressed chandelier as well. beautiful. And then all of your dies. Again, you've got the chandelier replicated in your dies. Look at the detail in that, amazing. You've got the mask, which we're going to be looking at in just a few moments time, that elegant mask. And then the beautiful flamboyant feathers included as well. 3 of those. 5 dies in total in that little collection. And then, of course, on top of all of that, you've got all of your papers as well, your papers and your cardstock, luxury cardstock, I should say. It's 20, I think it's 25 sheets, I want to say, in this collection. And again, you get all of these beautiful colours in a selection of the different styles, if I can lift it up, the different styles of the cardstock. So you've got matte mirror, you've got matte mirror, and also your sort of pearlescent cardstock in there as well, in a whole host of beautiful colours. And you can just see for yourself here too how these all match up beautifully with the colours and patterns that you've got within your paper pad, which we've already cooed over and you've had a good look at during the course of the craft along. Stunning, loads of beautiful designs in there. You've got all of that foiling in there too. And what I would say to you is if you're going for the full collection, then you might want to add the paper pad and cardstock collection back into your basket as well, just to make it go quicker, because I kind of get the vibes, I knew the vibes already, but I'm getting the vibes very strongly today that there's a lot of people who don't want to use the paper in this collection because it's so beautiful. So tip from the top, buy the collection and then buy a set to actually use, because as much as it is beautiful to look at and stroke and admire and blow kisses at, you do want to craft with it as well. So you can get the paper pad and the 25 sheets of cardstock as well for $19.99 or $23.96, platinum of course. And don't forget, if you are shopping with us today and indeed across this weekend, you've got double points on everything that you're buying. So it's a really good time to jump in and get this collection. The deal is matched with how we launched it. All right, same price, same deal on the double points as well. Unbelievable value for money. If you want to go individually, then you can do as well. Spend £35 or $35 and you'll get an extra 10% off. Now, just before we see this next picture, just to explain, on Thursday we were chatting about the watercolour Christmas collection, and in that collection I was saying that, well, basically there's 2 sticks that the forest animals have erected and there's like a sheet across them, and I said, well, this is just a lovely way for you to be able to stamp your own sentiment onto. To which then the chat began, well, actually, no, it's not. It's a tennis net. It's a volleyball net. I said, well, it can't be a tennis net because rabbits and foxes don't have opposable thumbs, so they can't hold a tennis racket. So then it was the chat, it's definitely a volleyball net then, because look at the rabbit. He's standing like this to spike the ball, and the fox is going like that to hit the ball back. Then the chat was, why doesn't somebody create a watercolour Christmas animal volleyball card using the snowflakes and the baubles from that collection? Well, Betty's only gone and done it, hasn't she? Look at this, Jan.
I think that is absolutely stunning.
How funny is that?
I love that. How creative is that? And I love the little hedgehog. He's the umpire.
Yeah, the hedgehog's the umpire.
That is great. Honestly, Betty, that really is thinking outside the box, isn't it? And taking it to another level. I love it.
Oh, my goodness me.
Love it.
When what I think we're chatting about is absolute nonsense, and then you come back and pull something like that out of the hat, and it just goes to show, doesn't it, again, Jan, that whatever the collection is, it's whatever your imagination wants.
People see different things in it, don't they? And I just think that is the fun. That's the beauty of crafting. You know, something might be created for a purpose, but you know me, I'm always looking for that. What else can it do? And what a brilliant way. What a fun design. I think that is great, Betty. Well done.
Oh, Betty, I'm so pleased. If you can, Betty, if you can send that picture to me on my Facebook page, and I'll stick it up as well, and we'll do a little video about that, because that is hilarious. Lots of love still coming in. Len saying, way to go, Ben. Loving this craft along. I'll have to go at a later date. Give it a go. Jan, you're such a great teacher, says Miss Jack. I love watching you craft. Ben, it's so much fun watching you when you craft along. You're a hoot. Great job. Thank you. And Deborah says, definitely giving this a go. I can see many different collections could be used for this lovely project. Don't forget, of course, we've got Susie as well crafting along with us in New Orleans. Should we just have a little look and see how she's getting on? I feel like we've not chatted to her for a little while there. Here she is in her craft room. How are you getting on, Susie?
No.
I'm doing well.
Fantastic.
Let's have a look.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Okay, that's going to be the front, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Here we go.
That looks fab. Well done. Yep.
How are you enjoying the whole concept of putting it together? You finding it quite easy?
Yeah, it was good. Jan's instructions are very good. Mine is like, it's not flat though. It like bubbles.
Just get your, as I say, get your bone folder or whatever, and just give it literally all over.
And just really squish them all in there?
Just give it a squish down, yeah. Yeah, just to get those creases in place, yeah.
Do you know what, Susie? I'm glad you said that, because I was a little bit worried about mine as well. But then when Jan was saying give it a good squish, I mean, mine's sort of like that, but it was a lot bigger before. So I just give it a good squish down, and it seems to be working all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, great stuff. Well, Susie, so pleased that you're enjoying this as much as we are. I think we're getting ready for the decoration step.
Yep, so we're going to do the front and back and the closure. If I don't get through all the decorations, I can talk you through that. Because again, you know, I've always said this many, many times when I'm demoing, sort of embellishments and decorations can be quite personal. I've done my idea and I'll talk you through what I've done if we don't get time to follow it out. But I just want to finish off the actual booklet itself. So you should have one piece of coloured cardstock and a piece of pattern left. I asked you to get 6 of everything at the ready. Now again, this is the half of what I used when I made my original one. This was the other piece of the paper on the front and back. So what we're going to do is just make a matten layer now to go front and back of it. So again, I'm going to take the coloured piece of card, and because we've ended up here with a 5 3/4 inch square, I'm just going to come down that 1/4 inch and come to 5 1/2. So I'm going to take the length off there and make it 5 1/2 inches deep, and then I'm going to cut 2 squares off here that measure 5 1/2 each, so that we've literally got a 5 1/2 inch square mat, and they will both come out of that piece there. Okay, so again, keep all the larger bits, and you've got 2 pieces now that are just the right size to start and mat and layer, just as if we were doing a card front now. And then again, you've got that last piece of paper. Yours might be a 12 by 12 sheet. As I say, this is the half that I had left over. So again, decide which bit you want to want. I want to keep this mask piece in here, so I'm going to cut it this way. And this one wants to come down to 5 1/4 inches. So I'm just going to take a piece off the bottom to bring it to the right depth, and then again, 2 5 1/4 inch squares. So you've got the height is 5 1/4 and the width is 5 1/4. Now this piece that's left, rather than cut this off here, I'm going to spin it because I want to keep all this gorgeous detail and take it off that way, so that I've got 5 1/4 inches and keep all that nice detail. So just think about where the patterning is on your design. So again, get rid of the excess, and then this is just a simple, I'm going to go back to my tape pen this time. Simple matting and layering. So we're just going to go onto the back of the paper. And I'm just going to go around with my tape pen, because this doesn't need to hold any weight or such. The tape pens are very strong. And literally mat and layer this onto the gold that I've got here. And you should just have that same 1/8 inch all the way round. It's 1/4 inch smaller, so it gives you an 1/8 inch border all the way round. And again, with the tape pens, just give them a good rub down. The heat from your fingers helps activate that adhesion there. So and again, I'm going to do exactly the same with the back one. So round the outside edge, and then I normally put sort of like a cross in the middle, just so that you don't get that air bubble under the centre of it. And again, I'm going to have those flowers on that side like so. Same border again, so just centering it in the middle of there. And then once you're happy, as I say, nice, it's sort of the friction and the heat from your fingers just activates all that glue in the tape there. So I've now got one ready for the front. Now I'm actually going to put the mask, I know this looks like the most decorative piece, but I'm going to save that for the back, purely because we're going to decorate the front and it'll cover it up. So I'm going to keep the mask so that I can see it on the back. But before we stick those down, we just need to bring in the ribbon. Now I asked you to grab a couple of lengths of 12-inch ribbons. So I'm just going to trim mine off here. So I've got one there.
Do you know what, you made me think as well, that's a great shot, because I was going to have my masquerade ball
you
on the front.
automatically think, that's the bit that I want to see. But when you look at mine, a lot of the front of it is actually covered up. So save the nice piece
For the back. And then actually, the way I was going to position my back piece, which is now going to be on the front, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, so I've then got a space here to put the mask.
Fantastic.
With the flowers in the top corner.
Yep,
yeah.
Brilliant.
Great.
So I've still got my F at the front. I'm going to work on the front first.
Yep.
Now you can measure this if you wish. I'm just going to look at it by eye, and I'll use the grid lines on my my mat actually here. Turn it sideways, and I'm looking for about the centre point, and I'm just going to pop 2 or 3 layers of that double-sided tape.
I'm going to eye this.
And then pop about 1 inch of the ribbon overlapping into the middle there. Okay? And then once we get this over the top here, that's going to secure that ribbon underneath.
Oh, I see.
Okay?
Yeah.
So again, turn it the right way now. Decide which way around you want this. And I'm staying with the tape pen now because, as I say, I don't need that sort of construction weight anymore.
So you're putting the front cover over the ribbon now,
Over the ribbon,
right, okay,
yeah. So that matten layer that you've decided is for your front,
yep.
I'm literally going to pop over the ribbon and trap that ribbon inside. So again, once you've got it in place, wherever you've got the tape, just a nice sort of pressure on there. Give it a good press down. And then your ribbon's actually secured inside there then as part of your closure, yeah?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to flip it all the way over, and we've got the same at the back. So again, now you've got that ribbon on, it's a little bit easier because you can use that as a guide now. And I'm going to do the same. I just usually put 2 or 3 layers down. Line this one up now with the one underneath it, so that you're sort of running parallel with the one underneath. Yep. Give it a good press down. And then again, just make sure that you've got everything the right way, because this is now at the back, your ribbons want to be on the left so that you've got everything the right way up inside.
Yes.
So make sure the ribbons come out to the left, and then decide which way you're going to have this one, and then we're going to pop that matten layer on the back of the book as well. So again, just round those edges, pop that cross in the middle, and then think about which way you want it to go and line that one up. And again, you've got that nice white border from your card base, and then you've got those mats and layers, just as if you were literally making a card. So that's all of the book actually complete now.
Yes.
Okay, and then you've got the means now to actually tie this to secure it in place. So you can tie the bow.
Wow.
And this is how you would actually present it to someone. You can always neaten this up afterwards. You can trim the length of the ribbon if it's too long, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. Yeah, but that's actually literally the book part of it complete. And then once you pull this open, you can open the ribbon up. You've got that lovely design in here. As I say, I'm not going to pay too much attention. I'll flick through the one that I did again to show you what I'd done in the middle. But this, you know, there's space here for you to do whatever. You might want to write in here. You might want to add some little photos in here. You might want to use embellishments from the kit. But whatever you want to use this for, you might just want those pretty papers to do the speaking. You might just find like this area here would be nice for a matten layer to pop a message in. You're not covering up too much if you use that page there. Again, I just love the papers. I just like to see those papers. This one lends itself to having something that you're not covering too much up. Yeah. Again, leaving them as they are. And then when you display it, you can use that ribbon that we've just put on now. So whereas it was a closure when the book was closed, it can also be the closure for when the book's open. So again, pop that bow in place and it will literally keep it open. And you've got your star. That's where it gets its name from, the star book to display. Yeah. And I think if you were gifting this to someone, they would literally want to display it like that. Of course. It's a really nice way to, especially if it's got things inside, you know, that are relevant to that person that you've gifted it to. Da-da! Da-da! Look at that! Fantastic.
Look. I've just got a couple of questions I need to ask, but I just wanted to show you mine because I'm super proud of that. I think that's my favourite craft along yet, and the best one that I feel like that I've done. Love that. Couple of questions. We did touch on this, but Kim says, please can I ask what I've done wrong, as mine doesn't fold flat like Jan's? Is that just a case of maybe just needing to Just put a bit more pressure on it.
It might just be that sort of burnishing those folds. So even when you get to this stage, if it's still a bit squishy, just give it a really good sort of, I always use my bone folder because the one that we've got here has got that lovely flat edge on it. So again, just press everything and make sure, particularly along that spine edge, as I say, it may be that one. I said pay particular attention to where all those spines fit together, and I've really squidged those together quite hard. Yeah, and it should, I mean, mine's actually probably about 3/4 of an inch in total, if you look at the depth there. And that, you know, not even pressing it together. Yeah, so again, to gift this to someone, I would probably make a nice box using some more of the papers and pop this inside a gift box for them, yeah?
And just a quick question before we go for a quick break. Pammy says, can you mention the ribbon length again?
The ribbon, I used a couple of lengths that were 12 inches long. Now, it may be that you want to trim those when you've got the bow tied and you have a look at it. I just sort of went for that length so that you've got plenty to work with.
Yep.
And then, as I say, once you've got it tied in place, when you're happy with it all, it may be that you want to trim. So once you've got this ready and done your bow to actually close it, you might want to tidy up the edges. Depending on, you know, I mean, that one's a wee bit longer, so I'd probably snip this one. And again, you might want to take them so that your edges are at an angle, you know, so that you've got that nice little point. You might want to do the fishtail on the end of them, you know, however, don't be afraid to trim that off if it's not the right length for you. But give yourself, if you give yourself too little, it's hard to tie the bow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, listen, if you want to grab the extra paper pad and the cardstock as well, flying out the door, $19.99 or $23.96, double points as well. And I think we can go over to Susie now, who has finished. Are you all done, Susie?
I'm all done. It's beautiful.
Go on, let's have a look.
There we go.
This is the front.
Yeah.
I like that with the mask on the front.
Fantastic.
The back.
Love the ribbon. Yeah, beautiful. Here we
That's
go.
a ribbon.
The unveiling. Drum roll.
So we can open to page 1.
Yeah. Beautiful.
2.
Yeah.
3. 4.
Yeah.
5.
That is, do you know?
What do you reckon, Jen?
That's the bit that I love when I've done the teaching, to actually see people have a finished product like that and actually have achieved it. That's honestly, it just sort of warms my heart. It really does. And I know when we were teaching, when we were at the store, you know, I know Susie's used the same collection.
Yes.
But if people that have used different collections, just shows you how you can do the same thing with another collection and it looked totally different, but you've done exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Well done, Susie. I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
Thank you. I can't wait to start with the embellishments,
Yeah,
like a
decorating.
chandelier and a mask and a whole bunch of feathers.
Yeah, I don't know how much time we're going to have left to do. Do we want to do the mask?
Yeah, we got about.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we'll have a quick break. Is that what we're going to do? We'll have a quick break, Susie, and then we'll come back and we'll just embellish it a little bit. Yeah,
yeah.
That's a great idea. All right, you're not finished yet, Susie. You're not finished yet. Listen, if you want to start doing that, so all we're going to do is just get some of the elements, maybe the feathers, maybe the mask. If you want to start die cutting to pop these bits onto your cardstock, you can do. If you want to wait, we'll be back in about 1 minute time to finish off the project. Any more questions in those time as well? In that time, do get in touch and we'll answer those questions in about 1 minute. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Hey, loads of love coming in for Susie as well. Absolutely lovely, Susie, says Aisha. Joy says, I love these craft alongs. I'm going to do this. And lots of love coming in for Susie, as I say, about her project as well. Let's just quickly get on to the final bit of this, where we're going to have a look at some of the embellishments, Jan. So what would we need to do next?
Yeah, I think what we'll do, because there is, I mean, again, I always say, you know, embellishments are very personal. I chose to decorate the front with the elements from the collection, and I'm going to show you how I arrived at the mask itself. We may not get a chance to do all the other bits because I can just see the time ticking away, but just to show you what I've done with the mask, I kept it minimal inside. I've just got a couple of little feathers with a stamped element here that I've stamped out that just says Masquerade. This was left over from a different project, so I've just snipped this out of some out of the paper pad and backed it just as an element in there. Nothing on that one. I love the paper here. Have a ball. Again, the chandelier. And I didn't put anything on the orange one. So again, I was thinking, you know, possibly little photos or something like that. So what I want to do just for those last 10 minutes or so is show you how I arrived at this one. If you've not used the die yet, just to show you. So I asked you to bring a scrap of black cardstock. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut the mask a couple of times. So again, most of the dies I think in this collection will fit in your mini, which I know is what you've got over there, Ben, isn't it? It is. I've still got my Gemini out, so I'm just going to pop mine in the Gemini plates and get this cut through. And again, the reason I've done it twice is because again it just makes it more of a substantial piece as an embellishment. If I was putting it on a card, I probably would just do it once, but because this is on the front of that book, and as I say, you've got that opening and closing with the book, I've cut it a couple of times and stacked them together and stuck them together with the glue dots. So again, once here, and then I'm going to be very naughty, and it's a do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, what are you doing? I'm not necessarily going to clear my my die out. Oh. Some of the bits will come out as they are. I would always say to you, make sure all the pieces come out of the die before you use it again. Just trying to find the release hole. Is it that one? Somewhere along here there should be a die. There we go. There's holes that don't make contact with the outside. There's just that one there.
Where's my pokey tool?
There should be another one somewhere that's sort of, these are all poking bits out at the minute. But yeah, there should be one that helps to release the die.
Have you cut, so you cut it twice, have you?
No, I've only done it once at the minute. Okay. Do them one at a time, yeah? And then I'm just be gentle, because there is a lot of little delicate pieces on there. But I'm just going to put that to one side. I'd normally say make sure that your die is clean, but because we're running out of time, I'm just going to whip that one through again on here and cut it a second time. Now, it's not absolutely necessary, this, you know, if your card's only big enough to do it once, just go with the one. But I often do this with sentiments as well, where I'll stack them up. And because the die cut, you know that you're going to get that perfect sort of stack of them. And it gives it a bit more, as I say, substance. It makes it more of an element rather than just a die cut. Yeah. So again, I've just done it twice. And we're going to do the same again and take that one out. That's all rubbish now. Okay.
I love the mini. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. I know, mine sits on my desk, and I use it for all this sort of, anything that'll go through it, basically. Yeah. So again, I'm just lifting the edge of that and lift the die cut out of the die. And I hope I've not set myself up for a fail, because once you leave the bits in, sometimes it doesn't cut. Well, we look as if we're all right. And then literally we want to just get as many of these pieces out. So I'm just going to go along with the pokey tool and take all the little pieces out. You see, this one's not cut quite as well. And this is a perfect example why I said to you, you know, don't do as I do. Yeah. Because it's not allowed it to cut perfectly all the way through here, because there were still bits left in the die. But you'll get the idea of what I'm doing. Okay. So again, just take as many of them out as I can get.
Do one of those little die brushes over here.
You could do with a die brush. I've got one here if you want to grab one.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Might just have a quick...
Have a quick jaunt.
It's against the clock.
There you go. I know, it's like time's ticking, isn't it?
I'm making a right old mess. Sorry, Tracy. It's a right old mess over here. I blame George.
So again, these would come out, if I show you the first one that I did, these will come out a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's just because I should really have taken the time to clean the die out. I can just, when you've got the clock in front of you counting down, I can see the time ticking away.
I can completely sympathise and empathise with you now I'm doing it.
Let's do it. You see this one, look, practically all the pieces came out when I took the die off it. In fact, I think everything else has come out. So yeah, some of these aren't quite cut, so I'm going to leave it at that. You'll get the idea of what I'm doing. So get rid of all the bits there, leave those to one side. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is use my dotty tape pen now.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that where all the pieces haven't quite come out, I'm going to use that as the base. So nice and lightly over all those die cut pieces, just be really gentle. There's one piece here, that swirly piece, that's quite delicate. So just try and get some dots on as much of that as you can.
Yeah.
And we're going to stick those two together.
Okay.
All right, just to make it a little bit more substantial. And
my second one, like you, hasn't cut particularly well. So if I put that in the back, right?
Yes, that's what I've done, Ben. Yeah. It's because we didn't clean it out properly.
Yeah.
Very naughty.
Okay.
That's why I always say to people, make sure your die's clean before you use it again. Mm-hmm. So again, you can see how they line up perfectly where we've got the die. And it just gives you something that's a bit more substantial. It's not quite as flimsy as just one layer. I mean, I've used our matte black cardstock, which is like 300 GSM. So I've now got the equivalent of 600 there, which has given it some real sort of punch there. Yeah. And then what I did with it was take my gilding wax.
Yeah, I'm desperate to just finish this off with you. I'm going as fast as I can.
The secret is take as much of it off as you can. And then I'm going to highlight the whole of the black. And I want it to be quite well covered. So I'm sort of pressing on a fair bit this time. I don't want to just highlight. I actually want to take the black away from the cardstock. Now you might say, well, you could just use gold cardstock, Jan, which you could. You know, what's the fun in that? Yeah. You know, we need to play with a bit of gilding wax every time. You know, I just love it. So again, and it gives you that sort of antique-y look, I think, because you can still see a little bit of the black coming through there. But it just gives you that kind of antique, like metal. So if I bring this up to the camera now, can you see there where it's sort of, excuse the little bits of black that haven't come out, that's because I didn't clean my die. But you can just see that it's black underneath. But it just looks like sort of tarnished metalwork, I think, now.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then all I did was cut the background. The die comes in two pieces. So you now get the background element here as well. And don't worry if you don't get all this done, because you guys can finish this after the show. But I'm just going to whisk through that last part now. And I've taken a piece of the gold glitter card. And I'm just going to pop that straight through the machine. And it cuts out a matte layer, which is just slightly bigger than the actual mask for it to sit on.
Yeah.
And it gives you that sort of frame. If I bring this one back into play, you can see here where I'm at. Whoops, nearly lost it then.
I just want to do this with you. I've rushed that gilding wax, but I just want to try and get the
I know, I've sort of sped up a little bit now because I just want to get, and as I say, if you have to finish it after we've gone off air, then I can talk you through. But basically, just by framing that, brings a whole different ball game to it. Yeah. So again, I'm now going to flick to a wet glue, and I've now got my tacky glue here now. And again, you can put the dots on, but I just think with it going on to a glitter card, I like a little bit of wet glue on there as well, because the wet glue seeps through into the glitter and it'll give you a nice sort of finished result there. So I'm rushing this last bit. I would normally spend a bit more time doing this bit, and I know Ben's sort of, we've got to a point now where the time's really ticking away. But again, just to lay that on top.
Johnny's just said to stay behind after class and finish it off. Can't take it home for homework, miss. Bring it back tomorrow.
So make sure that's all stuck down. And you can see there where we're getting the beginnings of this. And then I've just got some little gems. And these are great because these are the ones that will come all fastened together. So literally when you lift them up, they're all joined together. And I've used those to just decorate around here. Okay, so you can see, and then I've added this bit with some foam pads. Okay, and then if I just grab the other two elements and talk you through, where are we? That one and that one. So I've used the flamboyant feathers just to create a couple here, and then as I say, I've got some real ones at home, so I've used a real one in there as well to create that little cluster.
Yeah.
And then the Welcome to the Masquerade Ball is from the sentiment set here. So again, I've just stamped that out, used a little scrap of the cardstock that was left to make the title block there. And you've pretty much got that, you can see underneath there, we've got that covered. So again, you know, I wasn't too worried about the embellishment side of it. I'll leave this, you know, you can all come back to the video and you can see what mine looks like there. But basically it was the construction of the book, and that was the bit that we wanted to get through the class so that you can see that lovely sort of star shape with all the different elements in there. Just turn it round so that you can see. But once you've learned how to make that book, you can now translate that into any of your... Ben, bless him, he's sticking away over there. He's determined to get it done. All right, you can do this, Ben. I've got every faith.
It's not quite as I would have wanted at the end, but you get. I was a bit too heavy-handed with the gilding wax, but it's all right, isn't it?
He's got his feathers cut and everything.
I got my feathers done.
Yeah, got your ribbon in for your closure.
I stuck it on the... No, I haven't. That's right. No, I haven't. Stuck it on the wrong bit. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. That's it. That's fine. That's fine.
Like the book.
It's all done.
Yeah. Perfect. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I enjoyed that pressure crafting at the end.
That's not a beginner's project, that, Ben.
Is it not?
You've done really well with that. As I say, it is very repetitive, but you've got something that's a real sort of showstopper when it's finished.
Just needs a sentiment.
Excellent. Yeah.
Jan, I tell you what a brilliant couple of hours. A massive thank you to you for what has been so much fun. Send in your projects if you have crafted along with us. Susie T, we've got a minute to go. Did you manage to embellish your star book in the end?
It always gets a bit rushed towards the end, doesn't it?
I'm making some feathers.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Well, listen, Susie, have you enjoyed it?
I absolutely love it. I will send you a picture once I get the embellishments done.
Yes, please.
Yes,
send it to us in the studio and send it to me and Jan as well so we can put up on our socials.
Yep.
Love to you in New Orleans. Thank you for crafting along with us, and we'll see you again very soon.
Bye.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
So much fun. Thank you for all the lovely comments coming through at the end as well. Lots of you just saying you're going to try this with all of your different papers as well. Amazing. Jan, thank you so much. You're back in the craft house in a couple of hours.
I am at 7 o'clock, and our George is in the building waiting in the wings, isn't he?
Quickly, 10 seconds. Quick, come and give him a wave. I'm off to a fireworks display.
Look?
I'm tagging George in. He'll be here in a couple of hours. Oh, missed. 2 hours time. Yeah.